All right, good morning, everyone, or depending on what time you're watching this, greetings. My name is Joshwin Paulson. I am one of the I3 leaders here at Rowlett High School. Just for notification purposes, or just to let everyone know, if anyone happens to hop on this Google Meet, this meeting is being recorded. But today's topic for me will be Canvas Gradebook. I'll be covering a few things in Canvas Gradebook that I feel like will be very helpful for teachers. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right. So Canvas Gradebook. How does Canvas Gradebook make grading more efficient and convenient? That's the essential question at hand, because I myself, I always push teachers, colleagues to use Canvas. I feel like it's a great all-in-one LMS learning management system, and it has great features. And today, one of the features that we're going to discuss is the Canvas Gradebook and what it has to offer and how it makes our lives a little bit more efficient. So the answer to that question is students always know where they stand in your course because the gradebook in Canvas is always visible. Canvas makes grading assignments fast and simple, saving you time. Canvas maintains assignment integrity by enabling uploaded submissions, time-stamped entries, auto-graded assignments, instant feedback, annotations, automatically weighted assignments, and much more. And all of these things that I'm listing will go into briefly during this presentation. This will eliminate hauling around stacks of student papers and preventing debates about lost assignments. So if I can go into each one of these points briefly. So students always know where they stand in your course because the gradebook in Canvas is always visible. I mean, it's pretty much live, right? Anytime they log into your Canvas course, they can access the grades tab, they can access the assignments tab, they can see what they're missing, they can see what they've turned in. It's pretty straightforward. Canvas makes grading assignments fast and simple. This is also a great feature. All student work essentially is loaded into the Canvas course, into the specific assignment. Students can turn in their work in a variety of different ways as the teacher dictates, whether that's a file upload, whether that's the sharing of a Google Doc, whether that's a free response that's written in a text box. There's a few different ways students can turn in their assignments. So once they've turned in their assignments, you as the teacher are able to view that assignment in real time. You're able to grade right then and there. There aren't any stacks of papers that you have to fumble through and see and find that specific student's assignment. If a student turned in something, you'll see it. It's alphabetical. Their names are all there alphabetically as you go through SpeedGrader. If they haven't turned in anything, you'll see a no submission blank line that populates in Canvas. So it's a pretty straightforward process that saves you a lot of time, and it makes grading quite simple. Canvas maintains assignment integrity by enabling uploaded submissions. Like I stated, students upload their own assignment submissions. You can see exactly when they uploaded their assignment, what time. You can actually track their activity in Canvas as well. If they turn in an assignment and it's great, you can leave great feedback. If they turn in something and it's not up to par, you can go ahead and in the comment section let them know, hey, you need to fix A, B, and C and resubmit. So there's instant feedback options that you necessarily couldn't do in the old traditional ways of grading, where you would probably write on the actual document itself, hey, you need to fix this, this, and this. And whenever you saw that student next, you'd have to hand that paper back to them. And then that's how the process went. Whereas in Canvas, instant feedback is available, and students are able to resubmit as many times as you wish. Automatically weighted assignments, we'll go into that. This will eliminate the hauling around, yes. And again, everyone knows the old days, unless you just recently started teaching, the old days where you would actually have to physically grade those documents that were turned in because the majority of work was done on paper. Okay, the first feature that we're going to go over in Canvas Gradebook is the grade sync option. Now, this is going to be the manual option where you go in and you go into your Canvas Gradebook, and all of the assignments or all of the grades that you have for those assignments that you have uploaded, you can go ahead and automatically sync to Skyward, which is an awesome feature. It takes out a lot of the manual entry work. It's great. So, a couple of things that we need to do in order to successfully complete a grade sync in Canvas. We need to make sure Canvas grade weights match in Skyward, and I'll show you what that looks like. We need to create the assignment in Canvas. Click, and how do we do that? We go to click assignment, click sync to Skyward, and then check the box of assignments that you want to sync to Skyward Gradebook, and then click post grades. So let's go through that process. So here I have one of my courses. It's graphic design. So the first thing I would do is I would go to Skyward, and I can't pull up an actual Skyward course right now, but you would essentially go to categories. Every teacher does this at the beginning of the year. You go to the Skyward categories for each individual class. Make sure that your categories match what are in Canvas. So how do we do this in Canvas? All right, so here's my Canvas course. You want to go to assignments. And then notice how my groups are already created: 33.33%, 66.67%. The 33.33% is categorized as the major grades, and the minor grades are categorized as 66.67% of the student total grade. How do we make these weights? You simply go to new group, you type in min for minimum grades, max or major for major grades, type in the percentage there, and then you would hit save, and then that would populate these blocks of categories here. Okay, now you simply go to assignment, and then you can create any assignment that you want for any one of your classes. I'm just going to type in example assignment. And what I do is typically I put the date of when this assignment is being assigned before the actual assignment title. And then I'll give the instructions right here. And there's all sorts of edit features, but we won't go into that right now. We'll save that for a different video. The points, you want to allocate the total points for that assignment. Again, that's pretty straightforward for me. I like to make my life a little bit easier by just standardizing it at 100 points. Now, this is where you select the assignment category, the grade group category. Do you want to go to min or major? Remember, you have to have these categories set up before you're able to successfully sync. Points is what I typically keep it at all the time. And then this is a pretty cool feature right here, the submission type. So do you want them to do a text entry free write response? Do you want them to link a URL? And that could be a Google Doc URL, but there's another more convenient, straightforward way of uploading a Google Doc. Student annotation or file uploads. If you need to upload a slide presentation or a Word document, file uploads would be nice. Submission attempts, I typically keep mine at unlimited. However, if you would like to have a set amount of submissions for the students, you can do that here. It's not a group assignment. Require peer reviews. I just leave that unchecked. And then sync to Skyward. If you go ahead and check this box right now, it's automatically ready to sync if you do it the manual way. Now, if you have nightly sync set on, which I'll show you how to do here in just a bit, this is all you have to worry about. You just click this box and then your grades get synced automatically. However, since we're doing the manual sync right now, you can leave this checked right now. It doesn't matter. I'll show you what it looks like to toggle this switch after the assignment has been published. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it unchecked. And then assign to everyone. You can also select, if you have multiple sections of a different course, you can take out that everyone, and then you can find that specific section that you want to assign it to. Some teachers do that. Maybe they have one class first and they don't want the second class to see that assignment just yet, or that quiz just yet. So they'll assign it to a specific section. Now, I typically just make it easier on myself, and I select it. I just let everyone see it right away. And then the due date, of course, there you go. And then I don't really touch the available time to the end time. I just make it straightforward by doing all of that on the due date section right here, the date and the time, okay? And then I just simply save and publish. Now remember, we did not select that sync to Skyward button. So when I go to my assignments, you'll see, here's the assignment we just created. You'll notice this little X right here. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and hover over it, and it'll show you sync to Skyward is disabled. If I click and it turns green, then now sync to Skyward is available for that specific assignment. Now this green button right here indicates if the assignment is published. If it's green, if it's a green check mark, it's published. If it's not, if it just looks like that, that means it's not published, meaning the students will not be able to see that assignment. Okay, but this is just what I wanted to show you. Notice how all of my assignments have this little green check right here that basically means, hey, this assignment can be synced to Skyward. Okay, now the manual sync. We're going to go to grades. We're going to go to sync to Skyward. And then you can go ahead and check whatever boxes. Let me just show you what this is. If you simply uncheck everything, that's going to be the wisest thing to do, simply because you could have two sections. Now, we're currently in cycle 4, and I don't want cycle 3 grades being resynced. And notice you have all of cycle 3 and cycle 4 grades here. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the ones that I don't want synced, and I'm simply going to sync the ones that I've created for this cycle. Notice this is the assignment that I just created, and I don't want to sync that because students are going to be confused once they see it. They're going to be like, what is this assignment? But anyways, I'll sync a couple of other ones that I have posted recently, and then I'll simply hit post grades. And then you can actually track the progress of that sync by clicking this scheduled button right here. And then it will show you the progress of the assignments here. Now, you can refresh, and it'll show you, oh, okay, it's been updating. There you go, it's completed. Now, notice how one assignment was synced, meaning there was probably an update for that particular assignment. Maybe a student had made a new submission. If there was no new submissions, then that assignment probably won't show as being resynced. No changes were made, essentially. One thing I want to highlight on this page right here is notice you'll see this exclamation point that's in red, and I'll explain what that is. That essentially means that there's some sort of error that has taken place in the sync process. So I'm going to click completed, and I'll go to warnings and errors. Now, some of these errors can prevent an actual sync from taking place, and then other errors just basically mean that, hey, certain assignments were not able to sync, but others were synced. So like I stated earlier, I have nightly sync on, or if I didn't state it earlier, I have nightly sync on. Now, whenever you nightly sync, your gradebooks get synced to Skyward nightly. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? And the way it syncs, it has last cycle and this cycle currently being synced. Now, cycle 3, we're done with that grading period. So the error messages that I'm getting here are basically saying, hey, that cycle 3 assignments that you tried to sync, they're not able to sync because that grading time period has been over. So that's okay. This error message is not going to prevent my current grades from syncing over to my cycle 4 grades. So nothing to worry about here. Now, if you go back and some of these errors are saying failed or something like that, it doesn't even have to say failed. It might not even say failed. You go back to Skyward and you just see the grades have not synced, then there's an error that you need to actually go into and figure out what it is. Like I remember one time, I believe the grading categories didn't match. Right, the percentages didn't match or something like that, and that can prevent the actual grade from being synced over. All right, so that's manual sync. Now let's go over nightly sync. In order to successfully do nightly sync, you want to make sure that the grade sync button is actually available in the left-hand panel. How do we do this? You go to your settings in Canvas, you go to navigation, and you drag grade sync into the viewable tabs if it's not there. Click on utilities, click on nightly sync button, and make sure the button turns green. So let me show you how to do that. So first and foremost, you want to go to settings. If you don't see grade sync here, which mine's right here, but if you don't see it there, you want to go to navigation and you want to grab whatever tab. Grade sync will be somewhere down here, right? Because these are the viewable tabs, these are the non-viewable tabs. So if grade sync was down here, I would simply come through the bottom section here, find grade sync, and then I would go up and then place it in the viewable tabs. And then I would hit save, because if you don't hit save, then your changes that you just made were not saved. So you probably still won't see grade sync there. All right, so now I can go to grade sync. And all I have to do to set up nightly sync, where this takes out the hassle of you doing a manual sync, is you go to utilities, and then you just make sure that this box right here, or this little button, is a green check mark, because if you turn it off, it'll look like that, or if it's already off, it's going to look like this. But if you want to have that gradebook synced from Canvas to Skyward on a nightly basis, just make sure that green check mark is on and you're good to go. All right, so that is nightly sync. It's a new feature, I believe. I heard from one of our i3 one-to-one coaches here that that's a new feature that was established this year, early on this year. So I'm very happy about that, because I remember in previous years I was wishing that there was some sort of automated feature where I didn't have to do a manual sync, even though it's not too hard. But it's nice not having to worry about these things, that my Canvas gradebook and my Skyward gradebook automatically are communicating with each other and resyncing on a daily basis. All right, so now what this basically means is, hey, all my grades, as soon as I grade them, whatever updates I make in my Canvas gradebook, it's going to be synced to Skyward. I don't have to pull up Skyward and enter them myself. I don't have to do the manual sync option. Canvas does that for me here. Now you want to do your due diligence and make sure that the grades are actually syncing, because there have been times where, one or two times, it's very rare, but maybe there's a discrepancy in the gradebook. It could be either in Canvas or it could be in Skyward, and the grades haven't been synced, and now students are wondering where, hey, why don't I have a grade for this class? Especially, and that becomes very important when it comes to pass or play for UIL. And so there has been an occasion where if you don't open up your Skyward gradebook first, then your grades from Canvas don't sync to Skyward. And you don't have to do that every time. You just simply have to go into your Skyward gradebook for a specific course, make sure it's open, make sure the categories are set. You go inside the gradebook, you look if everyone's there, and I think just toggling that gradebook for that class makes it go live or something like that. I don't know the specifics behind it, but basically it's just something you have to do so that the Canvas gradebook can sync to the Skyward gradebook. Just a heads up on that. Going back to the presentation here, we're almost done. Filter options. So gradebook filter options. Using options that will make things easier is very important. You don't have to use all the filter options in the Canvas gradebook if it's going to make your life difficult, or if you don't need them. You don't have to use the filters. Different filter options present different views of the gradebook, submissions, not submitted, etc. I'll show you how to access that. Now, there are a few options I will personally say that can be extremely efficient and helpful. I'll go over some of those. But again, like I said, you don't have to use all of the gradebook options, gradebook filter options. So you're going to go to grades. You'll see apply filters right here. Now, whenever you hit apply filters, you see a few options that pop up. You can create and manage filter presets yourself. You can actually create your own filter. I don't do this just because the filter options that are already populated preset, they're good enough. and I don't use those too often either, right? So if you wanted to create a filter for your gradebook to have a certain viewpoint of a specific set of students who maybe had a assignment that they submitted from a certain time period, you could have that customization opportunity, which is excellent. It's a very nice feature. It's very immersive, and it gives the teacher so much freedom to work with the gradebook, but it's not necessarily, essential. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go back to apply filters. Now, these are the ones that actually do make a noticeable difference in terms of efficiency. You can divide the gradebook up by sections if you have different sections. You can go to grading periods. You can go to, and again, cycle 3, right? And then cycle 4. You can view your classes that way. You can go to assignment groups, min, major, exam. You can see who submitted assignment, who hasn't submitted assignment, and I don't want to put anyone on blast right now, so I'm just going to skip those. But basically, status, late assignments, missing assignments, resubmitted assignments. There's all sorts of filters here that make your life extremely efficient when it comes to grading. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my presentation here. And I would highly recommend you guys as teachers, whether or not you use that feature or not, the filter options, just go through it, because you never know. If you have a ton of assignments in Canvas and you're trying to see, oh man, this is too much, it's too much of a sensory overload, I need to be able to see specific assignments, maybe the ones that just haven't turned in their assignment yet, or because I need to give them a 0 or 50 or whatever, or maybe I just want to see the ones who have resubmitted an assignment, right? So they've already turned in their assignment, I sent it back to them, I gave them feedback, and now they're resubmitting their assignment, and I just want to see the ones that resubmitted their assignment. It's nice to have those options to filter through your gradebook. So I highly recommend that you go through it yourself and you decide for yourself if you need it or not. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. I believe that's pretty straightforward. Again, I like Canvas because it's straightforward, because you can do so much within that software. In conclusion, Canvas Gradebook is supposed to make your life easier with more of an all-in-one digital approach versus the traditional, arguably outdated way of grading. You can still input grades into Canvas that students have done on a physical medium. For example, it could be a handout, a worksheet, free write, or on some sheet of paper. Just create an assignment for it in Canvas and enter their grades for their submission, and then sync to Skyward. What do I mean by that? Well, basically, there's 1 or 2 assignments that I do for my classes that are on paper. So, for example, if it's a sketch, if it's a basic rendering project and they have to sketch it out on paper for graphic design, I could, and I have done this before, I could simply have them take a picture of their assignment and upload it to Canvas for that specific assignment that I've created. And I can see their file upload of their assignment, even though it was done on a physical medium, right? Even though it was done on a sheet of paper, I can still create an assignment for it in Canvas, and I can have them take a picture of it and then upload a picture of their document. Now, it could be a video. It could be a video assignment where they're recording a video and they're maybe having a speech on a particular topic that they're doing on video. Again, you can have them submit that assignment on Canvas, grade it on Canvas, and sync it to Skyward. An excellent feature. So don't worry if you're a teacher, if you feel like, well, most of my assignments are done on a physical medium, a sheet of paper. It could be an art project like a sculpture, right? That's not digital by any means, but you can make it digital by taking a picture of it, a video of it, and turning it into Canvas. So really, Canvas is not limited by the medium of assignment that you've selected as a teacher for that specific class or that specific assignment. Again, art classes all the time, they have physical assignments that they turn in, sculptures, paper mache, clay projects, and whatnot. You're not limited. You can have your students record a video of their project, take a picture of it, and upload it that way. So I've done that before, and again, it's made my life easier. Now, I would greatly appreciate any feedback if you do watch this video, and if you did find it helpful, if you could scan this QR code, or you can simply find this bit.ly link right here and type it into your URL tab on your browser. Go ahead and feel free to leave some feedback if this presentation was helpful. I hope it was efficient, or maybe if there's some things that you would like to learn about in the future, topics that were not discussed today, please feel free to leave that feedback in this link. So I greatly appreciate your time and taking out the time to actually view this video if you're watching after the fact, obviously. And yeah, have a great day.